Fighting side by side with Ukrainian forces is the International Legion of Defense of Ukraine that was created by President Zelensky to protect the people of Ukraine from the Russian invasion and to fight for global security. Among this multinational group of about 20,000 fighters is former U.S. Naval Intel officer and former national security analyst Malcolm Nance, who is joining us now from Western Ukraine. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. And I know that you've answered this question many times, but I think it's the most important question to be asked here, which is why did you decide I need to go and I need to fight?
Well, I was here about a month before the invasion. I was doing analysis of the Russian order of battle. I was actually driving the routes that we suspected that they would have to use in the invasion. I spent a lot of time in the city of Kyiv, and I even went with the commanders of the Ukrainian armed forces down to their forward battlefront in Donetsk. And I met people that I knew here, people who were graduates of Defense Language Institute, a school which I'm a multi-time graduate from. And, I couldn't believe that Russia was going to commit this multi-trillion-dollar mistake of savaging a very modern Western country. And, it's really not a question of NATO that they attacked for. It's a question of democracy. And this was a relatively well-off, Western European country. And so when the invasion happened and my friends were calling me and saying they were going to die because of the intensity of the attacks, I wasn't just going to sit on television anymore, give my opinion, point to dots on the map. They made a call for people with skill, with combat experience, and I answered that call because I believe what they're fighting for. This is a good fight.
You come from a tradition, your family has served for so long, all the way back to 1864, you noted, continuously. And right now you're part of what's called the International Legion. Can you tell us a little bit about that group and what you are doing?
Sure. The International Legion for the Defense of Ukraine is a multinational force which is made up of people from all over the world. It's incredible. It's almost like one of those Frank Capra movies where, one guy's French, one, named Frenchie, one guy's a Brit, and one guy's from Texas and the other guy's from Brooklyn. It really is like that. People from all over the world decided they would come to defend this country against Russia's aggression. And they've decided to become members of the Ukrainian armed forces, which is what the Legion is. It is not just people running around, grabbing rifles and going on the battlefield. It is a unified force that is a component of the Ukrainian army that is deployed on the battlefront. And again, it's made up of people from all over the world, men and women. We have a lot of women who have combat experience from the United States, from France, from Italy, and other places around the world. And so this force, again, is committed to defend the innocent people of Ukraine against, the war crimes and atrocities of that horde they call a Russian army. It's no army at all. It's just men who are out raping, murdering, pillaging, and trying to stay alive.
This, as you just mentioned, it's about combating democracy to you, or it's about fighting for democracy and saving it, not just about fighting Russia. Can you talk a little bit more about how you see this struggle?
Well, it's rather easy. There's an old saying. I don't know who the person who is that came with it, who said that fighting your enemy is not about fighting the person that you hate. It's about protecting those who are behind you that you love. And this country was completely innocent of all the insane charges that the Russians had been bringing about Nazis being everywhere. I've spent 2 months here. Okay, there are no Nazis in this country. The Jewish community here is old and deep, including the president, who is Jewish. But you can just see from what the Russians were doing, they were here to slaughter and eliminate Ukraine as a culture, as a language, as a people, which is the definition of genocide. And I had been around. I spoke twice at the Auschwitz Memorial Foundation at the Auschwitz Museum. And I know when I can see someone who is trying to commit genocide. So by defending the people themselves, defending their wish to join the European Union, their wish to become part of the global democratic order and to stand up to Putin's kleptocracy, oligarchy, and fascist autocracy, which is what he's running, and trying to bring Ukraine back into what he thinks is a version of the old Soviet Union. I've said this in my analysis before the war. The Ukrainians are going to fight, and these people fight to win. They are a modern army. They are like being near the U.S. Armed Forces in the way that they maneuver on the battlefield. They needed help with manpower and people with combat experience and skill, and I came to give them what assistance I could.
Well, Malcolm, I think it's so important to hear your voice on this, and I'll tell you, I am in awe of your commitment, and I thank you for your service. This is really extraordinary what you're doing, and we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about it.
Well, I'm glad that I can help spread the message. I'm going to go back to the front, and the people of Ukraine need our assistance. So if you can lend a hand, lend a hand. So with that, Slava Ukraini.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Emmanuel